Hello, welcome back here in the CAYDEN'S Weather Center. Right now, today is December 27, 2024. We're paying attention here to a big severe weather outbreak, possible tornado outbreak, heading down into the south right now and, heading into tomorrow. So this is a forecast for that severe weather threat that we're paying attention to. But let's take a look right now here at the United States. What are we looking at? Some rain, snow showers starting to emerge from the west coast, heading now into Seattle, Portland, and then even into parts of North California. And then just seeing little snow showers kind of over here in the Midwest. And then also some snow and rain showers kind of mixed over here in the northern part of the United States as well. Then you kind of take a look at this region right here. Some thunderstorms kind of going through Mississippi, Alabama, and you kind of can see that kind of just pushing up all the way up here into Washington, D.C. area, Richmond, Virginia, and West Virginia, kind of dealing with some of that weather as well, the rain. And then really, if you do live in this region tomorrow, we're going to see a big change, uptick in the severe weather threat, and that's what we're most likely going to be digging into in this video, just because that could be a possibility for a tornado outbreak tomorrow. One of our biggest severe weather threats so far of the year. Heading into the end of the year, as we're almost into the new year. So let's take a look at this right now. This is for tomorrow, so we'll have to definitely see tomorrow. Is there a big uptick? Do we have a moderate risk by tomorrow in the central part of Mississippi here, and maybe even Louisiana as well? We'll have to keep an eye out on that, but as of right now, it's only an enhanced risk, and you can see clearly majority of that enhanced risk does go through Louisiana and Mississippi. So that seems to be where our biggest tornado outbreak will occur, and that's where those big storms will form. But even if you live in the slight area where you're in the yellow, that's still a pretty big area for some large storms, possibly some big tornadoes as well, as you guys are still in that 5% zone. But that 10% zone in the significant to severe, more in that central eastern Louisiana part, and then also really just into central Mississippi, and then maybe even a little bit of western Alabama as well. So a lot to pay attention to as we go on throughout tomorrow, because this is big tornado risk that we do have. The wind threat will also be pretty big here. Whoever's in that enhanced risk will obviously get the higher winds and very stronger winds. This has the possibility of getting up to past 60-70 miles an hour winds with these storms that are going to be coming through. And once again, these storms will be pushing off to the east. So this will kind of be just a couple hour event here in this region right here, and once it gets past that, it will make its way and start to weaken as it gets into a little bit more unfavorable environment. We'll talk about that here shortly. But taking a look at the hail outlook, no big hail really. There's going to be some hail that most likely could be having associated with some of these supercells, but as of right now, it's not any biggest threat right now. Our biggest threat right now is the tornadoes and the wind that we want to pay attention to very, very closely. But let's head into the future radar here. What are we kind of looking at with the future radar? As you kind of can see here, over the next 8 hours, 7 hours, we can kind of see a big bubble of showers, thunderstorms just south here of Florida, but then there's a lot of those scattered showers and thunderstorms stretching all the way from the northern Gulf of Mexico all the way up here into central Alabama. Then we're continuing to move on 20 hours, 21, 22, 24 hours out here. Now this is also, Saturday, Saturday a.m., 7 a.m. Around 12 p.m. here, we can definitely see some of those thunderstorms really start to ramp up here in western Louisiana, parts of southwestern Arkansas, heading into western Mississippi. And that storm will obviously, these storms will continue to push off over here to the east. Then we head into around 30 hours out. That's when you really start to see these storms get really scattered around the Mississippi region, and then Arkansas and Louisiana. You guys are going to be having some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So expect this around tomorrow evening here. We could be definitely seeing a little bit of that severe weather kind of going on. Then you kind of take a look here around 34 hours out, 36 hours out. Very, very strong storms going to be possibly heading through Birmingham. Montgomery will be making through that, but Jackson will already be getting hit. And same with, Arkansas here, Little Rock, Memphis, and then Tennessee even will possibly be getting hammered. But you kind of can see some of these thunderstorms kind of coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. So that's going to kind of give the fuel for these storms to really start to ramp up over the next couple of hours going into tomorrow night. So this is into tomorrow evening. Taking a look at that, we kind of can see some of these storms really ramping up. Now, this is probably when our biggest wind threat will be heading into tomorrow night. So if you see that your city is involved, or where you're living, it's kind of seeing these lines here tomorrow night, even though the severe weather risk isn't in this main area right here, but the wind threat will probably be a big thing, especially as this big squall lines kind of come through as we go on throughout tomorrow night and into early Sunday morning. And as we go into early Sunday morning, we kind of can see associated, this is a cold front that's coming down. This will start to ramp up here in Atlanta and Macon, and that will be pushing through Georgia, and then a little band going through Alabama, continuing on with that. Taking a look at the supercell, kind of percentages here, you kind of can see over here in the next 24 hours, 26 hours, that's when we start to see that blue starting to pop up over here in eastern Texas and possibly even western Louisiana. We'll start to see that really ramp up here, and you kind of can see that here tomorrow afternoon. We'll be seeing some of those ramp up right here in western Louisiana. Once again, not the biggest area for severe weather, but this is giving us kind of an update, or kind of an outlook on what we could be expecting here. Who could have the biggest supercells, and the percentages are, still, pretty medium chances. Some areas are getting up into the red, so some pretty good chances we'll be seeing some supercells, and that's kind of why we have that big risk here for that tornado potential. And we take a look here at the tornado parameter here. We kind of can see over here in the next hours, heading into tomorrow specifically, 31 32 hours from now, we kind of can see all that blue. That's pretty strong areas where tornadoes could be possible, and that's why we have that severe weather outlook for some possible significant to severe tornadoes in that region right there. Then you head into around 36 hours out, very, very large area right here. That's obviously where our biggest tornado significant threat is, right in this region. So you can see that the parameter for the tornado threat is up there, quite a bit. And then we'll start to kind of go down as we head into early Sunday morning, and we'll just start to weaken down. But it's not just that. We have the wind gusts that will also be picking up as well. Not as bad as we kind of always see with these lines of storms that we've been seeing over the last, couple of months that have been more of a wind threat. But right now we're dealing with that more tornado threat, but there's still going to be some winds that kind of head into central Louisiana here, Mississippi. You guys will get some pretty gusty winds here, possibly reaching up to 40-mile-an-hour winds, and then possibly maybe even 50, 60 at some times. And then, this is associated with that cold front once again. So we're going to continue to pay attention to that very, very closely with the winds. But once again, that's not our biggest threat with this severe weather outbreak here. Taking a look here over the next 24 hours, what are we looking at right now? Well, we kind of can see 7.8 inches here and down South Alabama here. Parts of Florida Panhandle 1.5, 1.1 here in Tennessee and central Alabama. Heading into around 36 hours out, that's when you start to see some of these rainfall totals really start to ramp up over here over the next 60 hours, heading into December 29th, it seems. These rainfall totals will really start to ramp up down to the south here and closer to the coast. Some areas reaching up to possibly 9 inches, 7 inches of rain. Really, the 9 inches will kind of stay in this region right here, but still some heavy rain that we could be paying attention to very closely. So once again, as that cold front comes down with the severe weather, let's take a look here. What are we looking at for the high temperatures as we head in throughout tomorrow? Pretty, cold front continues on right here. Pretty nice temperatures around the most of northern central United States. Still toasty temperatures down here kind of in this orange region right here, especially if you live in Florida. Still reaching up into the 80s in some areas. And you kind of can see that here. And actually, if you go back, so 84, 85 down here in southern Texas, and then 81 here around the Tampa Bay area. And kind of just, that will eventually make its way and cool itself down a lot more here. It seems like on day 3 on Monday, temperatures almost reaching up into 90s here in southern Texas. Then you head into day 5. That's when we start to see really, in about a week's time right now. So next Friday, January 3rd, look at these big temperature drops that kind of had, happen over here in the northern part of the United States. This will include Michigan, Wisconsin, 4 degrees in some areas, 2 degrees in some parts of North Dakota, and then the 60s will come down here into Florida, 50s in the south as well. So not too big of a cold front, but still will be bringing some pretty good temperatures here that, obviously the south has always been waiting for. But expect a pretty big cold front to come down. But obviously we have that severe weather threat that we want to pay attention to. And we'll see a lot of that kind of happen tomorrow. We'll have these little clouds that we see tomorrow. Possibly live stream also going to be happening tomorrow. So make sure to follow my X page down in the description for any new updates on that. But make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. And if you do have any questions at all about any of the storms or anything going around, make sure to leave it down in the comments, and I will try to answer them to the best I possibly can. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and bye-bye.